The holding cell smelled of fear and metal. Kalith sat in the corner, her silver skin catching the harsh lights above. She pulled her knees to her chest and tried to make herself smaller. Her antennae, thin and delicate like flower stems, trembled as they felt the vibrations around her. She had been blind since birth. All Valerians were blind in the way other species understood sight, but they could sense the world through touch, through vibrations, through the electromagnetic fields that every living thing produced. Right now, all Kalith could sense was danger. The door opened with a metallic screech. Kalith flinched. "Get up," a rough voice said. It was one of the station guards. Not her husband, but someone just as cruel. "Auction starts in 10 minutes. Auction. The word made her stomach twist. 3 days ago, she had been in her small home, trying to stay quiet so Drex wouldn't get angry. Her husband had always been rough with her, his touches hard and painful. He said she was too sensitive, too weak, too broken. When he came home smelling of alcohol and told her he had sold her contract to pay his debts, she hadn't believed it at first. But Drex never lied about things like that. He lied about loving her, about keeping her safe. But when it came to his own survival, he told the truth. The guard grabbed her arm and pulled her up. His grip was tight, fingers digging into her skin. Kalith gasped, but didn't fight. Fighting only made things worse. They led her through corridors that hummed with voices and machinery. The station was crowded. She could feel dozens of life forms around her, their electromagnetic signatures pressing against her senses like too many voices shouting at once. It overwhelmed her. She stumbled and the guard yanked her forward. "Move faster, merchandise," he growled. The auction room was worse. Kalith was pushed onto a platform and she could feel eyes on her from every direction. The auctioneer began speaking in Galactic Common, describing her species, her age, her contract terms. He made her sound like equipment, a tool, property. "Valerians are naturally sensitive," the auctioneer said. "Good for detailed work. This one is undamaged, healthy, and comes with a 10-year labor contract." Kalith wrapped her arms around herself. Her antennae drooped low, trying to block out the sensations around her. She wanted to disappear. She wanted to go back to Valar, to the home she had left when she married Drex. But her family had been poor, and the marriage contract had helped them survive. She couldn't go back. The bidding started. Voices called out numbers. Kalith couldn't follow what they were saying, but she understood enough. Someone would buy her. Someone would own her. And she had no idea what they would do with her. Then she felt something different. It was a new electromagnetic signature entering the room. This one felt strange, not aggressive like the others, not cold and calculating. It was steady, like a heartbeat, strong but not threatening. "This is wrong," a voice said in Galactic Common. The accent was unfamiliar. "If you're not bidding, leave the room," the auctioneer snapped. "I'm bidding," the voice said. 5,000 credits. The room went quiet. That was more than twice the current bid. Going once, twice, sold to the human. Human. Kalith had heard of humans before, but she had never met one. They were new to the consortium, a strange species that seemed to have strong opinions about everything. Drex had called them weak and emotional. Heavy footsteps approached the platform. Kalith tensed, waiting for rough hands to grab her. "Hello," the voice said quietly. "My name is Marcus. I'm going to help you down from there, okay? I'll touch your arm now." Kalith's antennae lifted slightly. He had warned her. No one ever warned her before touching. A hand touched her elbow. The grip was firm but gentle, not painful, not harsh, just steady. "There are 3 steps down," Marcus said. "I'll guide you." He did guide her, slowly, carefully. When she stumbled on the last step, his other hand caught her shoulder to steady her. Then he let go immediately. "Sorry," he said. "Are you okay?" Was she okay? When did anyone ask her that? Kayleith managed a small nod. "Good. We need to finish the paperwork. Then we'll get out of here." The transaction took 20 minutes. Kayleith stood beside Marcus while he argued with the station administrator about the contract terms. She couldn't follow all the words, but she understood that Marcus was angry about something. His electromagnetic field pulsed with frustration, but never aggression. Finally, they left the office. Marcus touched her elbow again, that same gentle touch. "My ship is docked in Bay 12, he said. "It's about a 10-minute walk. The station is crowded. Stay close to me." As they walked, Marcus did something no one had ever done before. He described what was happening. "There's a group of Zentari merchants on our left. They're loud, but they won't bother us. Careful. There's a step up here. Now we're passing a food vendor. Smells like fried something. Not sure what." His voice was calm, almost friendly. Kayleith didn't understand why. When they reached the ship, Marcus helped her up the boarding ramp. The ship hummed with power, and Kayleith's antennae instinctively mapped the space. It was small but well-maintained, clean. The vibrations felt healthy, not damaged. "This is the main corridor," Marcus said. "I'm going to set you up in the passenger cabin. It's the second door on the right. Here, I'll show you." He guided her down the corridor and opened a door. The room beyond was small but quiet. The vibrations were softer here, less overwhelming. "This is your space," Marcus said. "There's a bed against the far wall, a storage unit on the left, and a small bathroom through that door. I'll get you some blankets and show you where everything is." Kayleith stood in the doorway, her antennae trembling. "Why?" she whispered. "Why what? Why did you buy me? What do you want?" Marcus was quiet for a moment. His electromagnetic field shifted, became something warm and sad. "I don't want anything," he said finally. "What happened back there was wrong. So I'm making it right. You're not property, Kayleith, and I'm going to help you figure out what comes next." Kayleith didn't believe him. No one did something for nothing. Everyone wanted something. But as Marcus brought her blankets and carefully showed her around the cabin, describing each item and its location, she felt something unfamiliar stirring inside her. It felt almost like hope. The first 3 days aboard the Wandering Star were confusing for Kayleith. She kept waiting for Marcus to show his true intentions, kept waiting for the pain to start, but it didn't come. Instead, Marcus brought her food 3 times a day. He always knocked on her door first and waited for her to answer. He always described what he had brought before handing it to her. "Breakfast today is some kind of grain porridge," he said on the 3rd morning. "It's warm, kind of thick. There's also fruit. Small, round, sweet. I tested it for toxins already. It's safe for Valerians." Kayleith took the bowl carefully. Her fingers explored the texture before she ate. It was good, simple but good. "Thank you," she whispered. "You're welcome." Marcus paused. "Listen, I wanted to talk to you about something. Your contract says you were being sent to a mining colony. I bought out the full contract, which means, legally, I own your labor for 10 years. Kayleith's antennae drooped. There it was, the truth. "But I don't believe in owning people," Marcus continued. "So I'm going to file dissolution papers at the next consortium legal station. It'll take a few weeks, but then you'll be free. Completely free." Kayleith's head snapped up. "Free?" "Yes. You can go wherever you want. Do whatever you want." "I don't understand. You spent 5,000 credits?" "It's just money," Marcus said. His electromagnetic field was steady, honest. "What they were doing was wrong. I had the money to stop it, so I did." Kayleith's hands trembled. She wanted to believe him. But believing had always led to disappointment before. "Where will I go?" she asked quietly. "That's up to you. We can take you back to Valar if you want, or any other planet. Whatever you choose. My family sold me to Drex, Kalith said. I can't go back there. Okay. Then we'll figure something else out. You've got time. After Marcus left, Kalith sat on her bed and tried to process what was happening. The ship's engines hummed beneath her, a steady rhythm that was actually soothing. Through her antennae, she could sense Marcus moving around the ship. His footsteps were predictable now. She was learning his patterns. That afternoon, Marcus knocked on her door again. I had an idea, he said. Would you like to explore the ship? I can show you around, help you learn the layout. It might be boring sitting in your cabin all day. Kalith hesitated, then nodded. Yes, I would like that. Marcus took his time showing her everything. He didn't just tell her where things were. He let her touch them, explore them. He put textured markers on different doors so she could tell them apart by feel. This is the cockpit, he said, guiding her to a chair. You can sit here if you want. It's got the second-best view on the ship. I can't see, Kalith reminded him softly. I know, but I can describe it to you. Would you like that? No one had ever offered to describe things to her before. Drex had always said it was pointless since she was blind anyway. Yes, she said. Marcus sat in the pilot's chair beside her. Okay. Right now, we're passing through a solar system with 3 planets. The closest one is red and rocky. Imagine. Imagine rough stone, hot from a fire. That's what it looks like. The next one is covered in clouds, all white and gray, spinning slowly. And the third is small and dark, like cooled metal. Kalith listened, her antennae raised high. She couldn't picture colors the way Marcus described them, but she could feel the enthusiasm in his voice. He wanted to share this with her. What does Earth look like? She asked. Marcus was quiet for a moment. Earth is beautiful. It's blue and green and white, oceans, land, clouds. But more than how it looks, it's how it feels. When you're on Earth, you can feel the wind. You can hear birds singing. You can smell rain coming. I think you'd like it. You miss it. Yeah, Marcus admitted. I do. My family lived there. They died in a mining accident 5 years ago. After that, I couldn't stay. Too many memories. So I bought this ship and started hauling cargo across the galaxy. Kalith felt a surge of empathy. You're alone too. I guess I am, Marcus said. Maybe that's why I understood what you were feeling back at that station. No one should be alone like that. They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Then Marcus showed her the rest of the ship. The engine room, with its powerful vibrations that Kalith could map easily. The small galley where Marcus prepared food. The storage bay, mostly empty right now. And then they came to a door at the end of the corridor. This is my favorite place on the ship, Marcus said. It's the hydroponics bay. I grow plants here. Food, mostly, but also some things just because they're nice. Can I show you? Kalith nodded. The moment Marcus opened the door, Kalith gasped. The room was alive. She could feel it through every sense she had. The plants hummed with their own electromagnetic signatures, dozens of them, all growing and thriving. The air was warm and humid. The sound of water trickling was soft and rhythmic. Come here, Marcus said gently, guiding her to a table. Feel this one. He placed her hand on a plant with large, soft leaves. Kalith's fingers explored it carefully. The texture was amazing, smooth and slightly fuzzy, alive. It's beautiful, she whispered. I think so too. Marcus moved her hand to another plant. This one has little flowers. They're delicate. Here, feel. Kalith touched tiny petals, so soft they barely felt real. She had never experienced anything like this. On Valar, her family had been too poor to have gardens. With Drex, she had been kept inside a small apartment, never allowed to explore. "Can I come here again?" she asked. "Anytime you want," Marcus said. "Actually, if you'd like, you could help me take care of them. I'm not always great at remembering to water everything." "You would trust me?" "Of course. Why wouldn't I?" "Because I'm broken," Kalith almost said. "Because I'm defective and useless." That's what Drex always told her. But looking at Marcus's electromagnetic field, she couldn't sense any deception. He really meant it. "I would like that," she said quietly. Over the next week, Kalith began to relax. Marcus kept his word about everything. He never touched her without warning. He never raised his voice. He never got angry when she was slow or made mistakes. One evening, she was in the hydroponics bay, carefully watering plants the way Marcus had taught her, when she realized something. She was happy. It was a small, fragile feeling, but it was real. For the first time since Drex had sold her, Kalith thought that maybe, just maybe, everything would be okay. And it was all because of a human who had shown her something she had forgotten existed: kindness. 2 weeks into the journey, Kalith realized she was listening for Marcus's footsteps. When she woke in the morning, she stayed quiet until she heard him moving in the galley, preparing breakfast. The sound of his movements had become the most comforting thing in her world. She was also learning more about humans. Marcus liked to talk while they worked together in the hydroponics bay. He told her stories about Earth, about his family, about the strange and wonderful things he had seen in the galaxy. "Humans are actually pretty new to space travel," Marcus explained one afternoon while they were checking the plants. "We only figured out faster-than-light travel about 50 years ago. Most species had it thousands of years before us." "Why were humans so slow?" Kalith asked, her fingers gently testing soil moisture. "We were too busy fighting each other," Marcus said with a sad laugh. "For most of our history, humans couldn't agree on anything. Different countries, different beliefs, different ideas about how to live. We had wars, lots of them." Kalith's antennae perked up. "But you stopped fighting?" "Mostly. When we finally got into space and met other species, we realized how stupid it was to fight among ourselves. We had bigger things to worry about. Bigger questions to answer." He paused. "My grandfather used to say that meeting aliens was the best thing that ever happened to humanity. It made us grow up." "Valerians don't fight," Kalith said quietly. "We're too sensitive. Violence hurts us more than other species, but that makes us weak. Other species take advantage of us." "Being sensitive doesn't make you weak," Marcus said firmly. "It makes you different, and different isn't bad." Kalith wanted to believe him, but she had spent her whole life being told she was defective because she was too sensitive, even for a Valerian. Her reactions were too strong, her emotions too obvious. Drex had hated that about her. "Tell me something," Marcus said, his voice gentler. "What's it like, sensing the world the way you do?" No one had ever asked her that before. Not in a curious way. Not in a way that suggested he actually wanted to understand. "It's hard to explain," Kalith said slowly. "I feel vibrations through my antennae. Every living thing has an electromagnetic field and I can sense it. I know where you are in a room because I feel your heartbeat, your breathing. I know when you're happy or sad because your field changes." "What do I feel like right now?" Marcus asked. Kalith focused on him. His field was strong and steady like always, but there was something else there too, something warm and curious. "You feel interested, happy, calm." She hesitated. "And a little lonely." Marcus didn't deny it. "Yeah, that's pretty accurate. You're really good at this. It's the only way I know how to understand the world." "Can you teach me?" Marcus asked. "I mean, not the electromagnetic thing. Humans can't do that. But the other stuff. How Valerians communicate. I don't want to accidentally do something that's rude or hurtful in your culture." The request surprised Kayleith so much that her antennae went completely still. You want to learn about my culture? Of course. Why wouldn't I? Because Drex never did, Kayleith thought. Because he said Valerian ways were backward and primitive. Valerians communicate through touch, she explained carefully. Different touches mean different things. A light touch on the shoulder means friendship. Pressing palms together means trust. Touching someone's face is very intimate. It's how we truly see each other. What do you mean, see? When a Valerian touches someone's face, we can read their electromagnetic field more clearly. We understand who they really are, not just what they show on the surface. It's very personal. You only do it with people you love or want to bond with. Marcus was quiet for a long moment. And your husband never learned this? No. He said it was stupid. He touched me however he wanted. Rough, painful. Kayleith's voice became smaller. He said I was too sensitive, that I needed to toughen up. He was wrong. Marcus's voice was hard now, angry, but not at her. For her. There's nothing wrong with being sensitive, and anyone who hurts someone weaker than them is a coward. Kayleith felt something warm bloom in her chest. She had never been defended before, never been told that she wasn't the problem. The days continued to pass. Marcus started doing small things that he thought might make her comfortable. He played soft music in the common areas because he noticed her antennae relaxed when he did. He made sure the ship's corridors were always clear so she wouldn't trip. He asked her opinion on which routes to take, which stations to stop at. He treated her like she mattered. One evening, after they had finished dinner, Marcus asked Kayleith if she wanted to sit in the cockpit with him. There's something I want to try to show you, he said. Curious, Kayleith agreed. They settled into the chairs and Marcus adjusted the ship's course slightly. Okay, he said. We're approaching a nebula. Have you ever experienced one? No. What is it? It's like a cloud in space, made of gas and dust. But it's huge and colorful and amazing. I can't show you the colors, but maybe I can help you feel it. How? The nebula has an electromagnetic field, a strong one. If I fly close enough, you might be able to sense it. Would you like to try? Kayleith nodded eagerly. Marcus guided the ship closer. At first, she didn't feel anything different. Then, slowly, she began to sense something enormous, a massive presence that swirled and pulsed with energy. It was unlike anything she had ever experienced, beautiful and strange and overwhelming in the best way. Do you feel it? Marcus asked softly. Yes, Kayleith breathed. It's amazing. It's alive. Not alive, exactly. But I know what you mean. It feels that way to me, too. They sat together in silence, experiencing the nebula. Marcus in his way, Kayleith in hers. But experiencing it together made it special. Marcus, Kayleith said after a while. Yeah? Why are you being so kind to me? Marcus considered the question carefully. Because everyone deserves kindness. And because... He paused. Because I like you, Kayleith. You're brave and curious and stronger than you think. I like spending time with you. Kayleith's antennae trembled. Her heart beat faster. She recognized what she was feeling, and it terrified her. She was falling in love with him. It was too soon, too dangerous. She barely knew him. But her body didn't care about logic. Every time Marcus spoke, every time his electromagnetic field pulsed with that steady, kind warmth, she wanted to be closer to him. She wanted to touch his face, to truly see him the way Valerians did. But she was afraid. What if he didn't feel the same way? What if she was misreading everything? What if he was just being kind, nothing more? I like spending time with you, too, she whispered. It was the smallest confession, but it was a start. As they sat together watching a nebula that only one of them could see with eyes, Kayleith felt something she hadn't felt in years. She felt safe. And more than that, she felt hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, she had finally found someone who understood that gentleness wasn't weakness, it was strength. The Wandering Star docked at Meridian Station, one of the largest trading hubs in the sector. Marcus needed to file the contract dissolution papers and pick up supplies. He had asked Kalith if she wanted to come with him or stay on the ship. "I'll stay here," she had said. Stations were too crowded, too overwhelming for her senses. "Is that okay?" "Of course. I'll be back in a few hours. Lock the door behind me and don't open it for anyone but me. I'll knock 3 times, pause, then twice more. That'll be our signal." Kalith had smiled at that. Their signal. Like they were a team. Marcus had been gone for 2 hours when Kalith heard footsteps on the boarding ramp. Heavy footsteps. Not Marcus's steady rhythm. These were harsh, aggressive. Her antennae went flat against her head in fear. The footsteps stopped at the door. Then came a pounding knock that made her flinch. "Open up!" a familiar voice shouted in Valerian. "I know you're in there, you useless creature!" Drex. Kalith's blood turned to ice. She backed away from the door, her hands shaking. How had he found her? Why was he here? "The human isn't here to protect you," Drex continued. "I have legal documents. You belong to me. Open this door, or I'll have the station security break it down." Kalith couldn't move. She couldn't think. Drex's electromagnetic field seeped through the door, aggressive and angry. It felt like being burned. "Fine," Drex snarled. "I'll wait for your human to return. Then we'll see what happens." Kalith heard him move away from the door, but he didn't leave. He was waiting, hunting. She had to warn Marcus. But how? She felt her way to the ship's communication panel, but she had never used it before. Marcus had shown her where it was, but not how to operate it. "Think," she told herself. "Think." Her fingers explored the panel, feeling for buttons, switches, anything. She pressed several controls, hoping one of them would connect her to Marcus's communicator. Instead, alarms started blaring. Kalith stumbled backward, overwhelmed by the sudden noise. The door hissed open and Drex stormed in. "Stupid female," he said in Valerian, grabbing her arm roughly. His grip was painful, fingers digging into her skin the way they always had. "You're coming with me!" "No!" Kalith tried to pull away, but Drex was stronger. "You were never this defiant before," Drex said. "Has the human been putting ideas in your head, making you think you're worth something?" "Let go of me." Drex laughed. It was a cruel sound. "Your human violated the contract terms. You were supposed to be delivered to the Kalnar mining colony. Instead, he kept you. That's illegal. I have every right to reclaim you. I'm not property. You're whatever I say you are. Your family sold you to me, remember? You're mine." "Actually," a new voice said from the doorway, "she's not." Marcus. Kalith felt his electromagnetic field enter the space like a wave of controlled fury. He was angry, angrier than she had ever sensed him before. But it was cold anger, calculated. "You're trespassing on my ship," Marcus said, his voice dangerously quiet. "Let her go." "You have no authority here, human," Drex said, but his grip on Kalith's arm loosened slightly. "I have legal documentation." "Forged documentation," Marcus interrupted. "I had it analyzed this morning when I filed the dissolution papers. Your marriage contract with Kalith was never valid under Valerian law. Her family's thumbprints were falsified. You forced her into the marriage, which makes the entire subsequent transaction illegal." Kalith's antennae shot up. "What?" "Your family never sold you," Marcus said, his voice gentler when he spoke to her. "Drex forged the documents. I found your real family's records. They've been looking for you for 3 years. Drex's grip tightened again, and Kalith cried out. "Lies. Human lies." "Station security is on their way," Marcus said calmly. I activated the alarm when I saw you forcing your way onto my ship. You have about 30 seconds to decide if you want to go quietly or if you want to make this difficult. She's worthless anyway, Drex spat. Too sensitive, too weak. No one would want her. I want her, Marcus said simply, and that's all that matters. The words hung in the air. Kayleith felt them through her entire body, through every sense she had. Marcus's electromagnetic field pulsed with absolute truth. He meant it. Security arrived moments later. They took Drex away, still shouting threats in Valerian. A Valerian rights advocate arrived shortly after, a kind female who spoke to Kayleith in their native language. You're safe now, the advocate said. The forged documents have been documented as evidence. You're free. Completely free. No contracts, no obligations. What would you like to do? Kayleith stood in the middle of the ship, trembling. Free. The word felt too big to understand. I don't know, she whispered. You have family on Valar, the advocate said. They would welcome you home. Or you could go anywhere in the consortium. You have options now. Kayleith's antennae turned toward where Marcus stood, carefully staying quiet while the advocate spoke to her. She could feel him there, strong and steady, her anchor. Can I think about it? Kayleith asked. Of course. Take all the time you need. After the advocate left, Marcus and Kayleith were alone on the ship. The silence was heavy. Are you okay? Marcus asked softly. I don't know, Kayleith admitted. Everything feels too big. I know, I'm sorry. I should have been here. It's not your fault. Kayleith took a shaky breath. Marcus, did you mean what you said? When Drex was here? Which part? When you said you want me. Marcus was quiet for a long moment. Kayleith could feel his electromagnetic field shifting, uncertain. Yes, he said finally. I meant it. But Kayleith, you need to understand something. You're free now. Really free. You don't owe me anything. Not gratitude, not loyalty, nothing. If you want to go back to your family, or start fresh somewhere else, I'll help you. I'll take you anywhere you want to go. What if I want to stay here? Then you can stay. But, Marcus's voice became strained. But I need you to be sure. I don't want you to stay because you feel safe with me and you're afraid of being alone. I don't want you to confuse gratitude with something else. Kayleith's heart ached. He was giving her a way out. He was making sure she had a real choice. That's when she knew for certain. What she felt wasn't gratitude. It wasn't fear. It was love. Can I ask you something? She said quietly. Anything. In Valerian culture, when we want to truly know someone, we touch their face. We read their electromagnetic field directly. It's intimate. Personal. Would you let me do that? So I can show you what I'm feeling? So you know I'm sure? Marcus's field pulsed with surprise, then something warmer, deeper. Yes, he said. If that's what you want. Kayleith stepped forward, her hands reaching out. Marcus guided her hands to his face, and the moment she touched him, everything became clear. She felt his kindness, his loneliness, his strength and his fear. She felt the way he cared for her, deep and true. And she felt his love, tentative but growing, afraid to hope but unable to stop. He loved her too. Tears ran down Kayleith's face. Happy tears. Relieved tears. I'm sure, she whispered, her hands still on his face. I want to stay. Not because I'm afraid. Not because I owe you. But because I love you. Marcus's hands came up to cover hers. His touch was warm and gentle. I love you too, he said quietly. I have for a while now. I just didn't know if I should say it. They stood there together, Kayleith's hands on Marcus's face, his hands covering hers. Two broken people who had found each other in the vastness of space. And for the first time in her life, Kalith understood what it meant to be truly seen, to be truly valued, not despite her sensitivity, but because of everything she was. The next morning felt different. Kalith woke in her cabin, but everything had changed. She and Marcus had talked late into the night, sharing stories and dreams and fears. They had decided to stay together, to build something new. But first, Marcus wanted to make sure she reconnected with her family. The communication with Valar took 3 days to arrange. When the call finally connected, Kalith heard her mother's voice for the first time in 3 years. "Kalith, is it really you?" "Mother," Kalith whispered, her antennae trembling with emotion. "I'm here," her mother cried. Her father cried. They explained everything. Drex had told them Kalith had died in an accident. They had mourned her. When they found out the truth from the Valerian advocate, they couldn't believe it. "Come home," her mother begged. "Please come home." "I can't," Kalith said gently. "Not yet. Maybe someday. But I have a life here now. A good life." She told them about Marcus, about his kindness, about how he had saved her and asked for nothing in return, about how she had fallen in love with a human who understood that gentleness was strength. Her parents were quiet for a long moment. Then her father spoke. "Is he good to you?" "Yes, he's very good to me." "Then you have our blessing," her father said. "Bring him to Valar someday. We would like to meet the human who won our daughter's heart." After the call ended, Kalith sat in the cockpit with Marcus. He had given her privacy during the conversation, but now he was here, his presence steady and comforting. "How did it go?" he asked. "Good. Really good. They want to meet you someday." Marcus laughed. "That's terrifying. Meeting the parents is always terrifying." "They'll love you. How could they not?" Over the next few weeks, Kalith and Marcus fell into a new rhythm. They were partners now, in every sense. Kalith learned to navigate the ship's systems, her natural sensitivity to electromagnetic fields making her excellent at detecting problems in the machinery. Marcus started learning Valerian touch language, though he admitted he was terrible at it. "I feel like I'm just poking you randomly," he said one afternoon while they practiced in the hydroponics bay. "You're doing better," Kalith assured him, though she was trying not to laugh. "That last one almost meant 'I appreciate you.' You just accidentally added the modifier for confused vegetable." "Confused vegetable?" "It's a direct translation. It doesn't make sense in Galactic Common." Marcus groaned, but he was smiling. "Okay, show me again." Kalith took his hand and guided it through the proper motions. Light pressure on the inner wrist meant appreciation. A gentle squeeze meant affection. Fingertips brushing the palm meant joy. "This is beautiful," Marcus said quietly. "Your whole language is beautiful. Most species think it's too complicated. Most species are idiots." Kalith laughed. It was still a strange sound to her own ears. She hadn't laughed much in her life, but with Marcus, she laughed every day. One evening, after they had finished dinner, Kalith gathered her courage. There was something she wanted to ask, but it was significant, important. It couldn't be taken back. "Marcus," she said softly. "Yeah?" "In Valerian culture, there's a bonding ceremony. It's how we marry, sort of. But it's deeper than human marriage. It's a complete sharing of electromagnetic fields. I would share everything with you, every memory, every feeling, every part of who I am, and you would share yourself with me." Marcus was quiet. She could feel his field shifting, surprised but interested. "Is that something you want?" he asked carefully. "Yes, but only if you want it too. It's intimate, vulnerable. I would see all of you, and you would feel all of me through the connection. There would be no secrets between us." "Would it hurt?" No, it feels like becoming complete, like finding a missing part of yourself. Marcus reached out and took her hand. His touch was warm and steady. How long does it take? Several hours. We have to maintain physical contact the entire time while our fields synchronize. And after? What happens after? We would be bonded. Forever. Valerians don't break bonds. We mate for life. Marcus squeezed her hand gently. Kaleth, I need you to understand something. I'm human. We're not telepathic. I won't be able to share with you the same way you share with me. It won't be equal. I know, but I'll feel your heart, your emotions, your truth. That's enough for me. More than enough. Then yes, Marcus said. I want to bond with you. When? Whenever you're ready. How about tonight? Kaleth's antennae lifted in surprise. Tonight? Are you sure? I've never been more sure of anything. They prepared the hydroponics bay for the ceremony. It was the most peaceful place on the ship, full of life and growth. Marcus brought blankets and made them comfortable on the floor among the plants. Soft music played in the background. Kaleth explained what would happen. I'll place my hands over your heart. You can hold me however feels comfortable. Then I'll open my field completely. You'll feel it as warmth, maybe pressure. Don't be afraid. Just breathe and let yourself feel. I trust you, Marcus said simply. They settled close together. Kaleth placed both hands on Marcus's chest, feeling his heartbeat through her palms. Marcus wrapped his arms around her, holding her gently but firmly. Then Kaleth opened herself completely. The bond formed slowly. At first, it was just warmth spreading between them. Then Kaleth began to sense Marcus's memories. His childhood on Earth running through green fields, his family loving and close, their deaths, the crushing grief, his loneliness afterward, drifting through space without purpose, then finding her at the station. The moment he decided to act. The decision that changed both their lives. She felt his love for her, growing day by day. She felt his fear that she would leave, his hope that she would stay, his determination to give her choices, even when it hurt him. And Marcus felt her too. Through the connection, he experienced her childhood, the confusion of being blind in a sighted world. Even among her own people, the arranged marriage to Drex, the pain, the fear, the loneliness. Then meeting Marcus, safety for the first time, kindness, love blooming slowly, carefully, until it was undeniable. They stayed connected for hours. Sometimes Kaleth cried, sometimes Marcus did. They shared pain and joy, fear and hope. They shared everything. When the bond finally settled into place, solid and permanent, they both gasped. I feel you, Marcus whispered. I can actually feel you, in my chest. Is that normal? Yes, Kaleth said. That's the bond. You'll always feel me now, and I'll always feel you. It's amazing. They held each other in the quiet hydroponics bay, surrounded by growing things and soft light. Two different species, two different worlds, now joined in a way that transcended biology. The next few months were the happiest of Kaleth's life. She and Marcus worked together as co-pilots. Her ability to sense electromagnetic fields made her excellent at navigating through dangerous space. Marcus's experience and knowledge complemented her skills perfectly. They took jobs together, hauled cargo together, explored the galaxy together. Kaleth learned about dozens of different worlds, experienced things she had never imagined possible. And every night they came back to each other. Sometimes they talked for hours, sometimes they sat in comfortable silence. Sometimes Marcus described the stars to her, and Kaleth shared the electromagnetic songs of nearby planets. 6 months after the bonding, they received a message from Valar. Kaleth's story had spread across the planet. The forged contracts, the illegal trafficking, the human who had saved her. Because of her case, new laws had been passed protecting vulnerable Valerians from exploitation. "You're a hero," Marcus said, reading the message to her. "They want you to come speak to the Valerian Council." "I'm not a hero," Kalith protested. "You're the one who saved me." "We saved each other," Marcus said, pulling her close. "I was drifting before I met you. Lost. You gave me purpose again. You gave me a home." "Home," Kalith repeated softly. The word felt different now. Bigger. Better. Home wasn't a place. Home was Marcus's steady heartbeat under her palms. It was his laugh when she made a joke. It was his gentle touches and his terrible attempts at Valerian sign language. It was the way he described colors as feelings and never made her feel broken. Home was wherever they were together. "Should we go to Valar?" Marcus asked. "Visit your parents? Meet the council?" "Yes," Kalith said. "But after, we come back here, to the Wandering Star. This is home." "This is home," Marcus agreed. That evening, they sat in the cockpit together, passing through a system neither of them had seen before. Marcus described the planets. Kalith sensed their electromagnetic fields. Together, they experienced the universe in a way neither could have alone. "Hey, Kalith," Marcus said after a while. "Yes?" "Thank you." "For what?" "For staying, for choosing me, for showing me that the best things in life aren't found. They're built. Together." Kalith reached over and took his hand, intertwining their fingers in the Valerian way that meant forever. "Thank you for seeing me," she said. "For really seeing me. Not my blindness. Not my weakness. Just me." "You were never weak," Marcus said. "You're the strongest person I know." They sat together in comfortable silence, two souls bonded across the stars, a blind alien who had learned to see through touch, and a human who had learned that the gentlest touch could change everything. Behind them, the past faded into darkness. Ahead, the future gleamed with infinite possibility. And in the present, they had each other. That was enough. That was everything.